All right, so I'm going to show kind of how to do phase one of the AAT, how you can just kind of breeze through it pretty easy. Um, right now I'm just on normal AAT. Our guild's getting ready to do heroic AAT, hopefully soon. I think once I get my Han up to 7-star, we're going to try our first run. We probably won't do too well on it, but just going to try it out and see how it goes. But for now, this is normal AAT. And I'm going to explain why I'm bringing these people for this part of the phase one. So Tebow, on his leadership ability, obviously he gives them stealth, but I don't really care about that. There's not really a counter in phase one, but fully upgraded to level 8, his it also gives plus 25% turn meter gain chance. Basically, they have a 55% chance to gain stealth, but they also have a 50% chance to gain 25% turn meter at the end of their turns. So this just makes everybody a little bit faster. It's not necessary. You can do this part of the phase one of the raid with just with honestly just Commander Luke Skywalker and Raid Han. And I've done it before too, but this just makes it a little bit easier. So that's why we have them. And then BB-8, he never has to attack. So the thing about General Grievous, and I'll show you once we're in there, is that basically you either want somebody who can remove turn meter every time they attack, or can never has to attack. So like Hermit Yoda would actually be a good one to add to this if I ever get him. Tebow, I'm gonna actually try and pull him out as soon as possible. Just because if he's not in stealth, he doesn't have a chance to remove turn meter, and so that can be kind of annoying if I have to hit General Grievous at a specific time, and I'll go into the details of that as I'm doing the battle. But anyway, so BB-8 never his second or his first special ability is never on cooldown. It has no cooldown, and it doesn't attack. So it's just a buff to allies, and so I'll use that one constantly on him and never attack with him. And then his other special ability, let's see what they're called. Illuminated Destiny. Covert Data Transfer. Yeah, this one's always on cooldown. There's no cooldown. It's weird that way. I don't know why. But you don't need it all the way up to 8. 7's fine. And it just puts secret intel on everybody. So with secret intel, it gives them extra potency, which is going to be helpful for having them remove turn meter, so that I don't have to have super strong potency mods on them. And then it reduces the cooldown of Illuminated Destiny. And Illuminated Destiny is going to help with putting out damage. And it's not a... I assumed it was going to be a Zeta, but it's not. It's just an Omega. So it's pretty easy to get. But it gives... it provides protection. Starts on cooldown and can't be evaded. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, here we go. It gives all allies gain 80% turn meter and gain advantage, critical chance up, critical damage up, offense up, and speed up for 4 turns. So the 20% protection is just for droid and resistance allies, which there's nobody else on here that's a droid or a resistance. Some people take R2D22 to put down stealth. I don't find that necessary, and it just gives you an extra thing that could potentially mess up General Grievous and give him 100% turn meter. So anyways, so just having this, obviously speeds them up more, gives them more critical chance for more damage, more critical damage for more damage, more offense for more damage, and then speed up to make them faster. So that's why I take BB-8 as well. And he doesn't have to be like super decked out. You know, he has a fair amount of survivability, but he doesn't even really need it because you'll see there's nobody else is going. So Raid Han, once if you get his Zeta on him, he'll attack twice every time he does his basic, and his basic has a chance to remove turn meter if they are over 50% turn meter. So if he attacks twice while they're at like 85% turn meter, then he'll get them to go down to 50% turn meter. Then the next time he hits them, it'll go down 35%. So that'll leave them with 15% turn meter if they started at 85%, which is really good against General Grievous, because if he gets hit at the beginning of the first hit, then he'll get to 100% turn meter, then it'll remove 35% turn meter because it's over 50%, no matter what it started at. And then it'll remove another 35%. So that's why Han Solo is really good against General Grievous. And then Commander Luke Skywalker, both of his attacks have a chance to remove turn meter. With Destined Strike, they have to have speed down first, but after that, it'll remove 30% turn meter every time, and pretty much he'll just always, General Grievous will always have speed down, which is also helpful for keeping him slow enough so that you get to go as many times as you can. And then use the Force will remove 100% turn meter, and it also puts on tenacity down, which is helpful for being able to proc that your turn meter down stuff. So in general, he's all good. And then he has lots of sustain. You know, he can use call to action if he's running low on protection or health. It gives him 40% of both. And then Han Solo has good lifesteal, so his protection should be gone by the end of this, but he'll have full health pretty much the whole time. So let's go into the battle and ignore that it's saying you don't have a full team. That's fine. Gonna get rid of this. Oh, I kind of wish I had switched to a bigger screen. I just made it this size so that I could show off exactly what I was doing when I was going through the Bronziums real quick. So, alright, so Han Solo starts out, obviously, because of his unique, and then we're just going to stun him. We're going to get rid of General Grievous's turn meter here, also put tenacity down on him, so it'll be easier now to keep taking away his turn meter. So the only time I really use BB-8's basic is just to get rid of, these extra little guys. I don't know why he didn't take any damage, but he got tenacity down. That seems weird, because BB-8 does a decent amount of damage. I mean, not a ton, but not nothing. And that was dumb of me. I should have used Tebow to get rid of General Grievous's turn meter, which was completely filled up, but whatever. We're just gonna kill everybody again. So see, it's above 50% turn meter, so I'll use his basic, and it goes down by 35%. But once it was below 50%, then it didn't go down anymore on that second shot, because I'm just going to use that, start getting out that stuff right now. So we'll go invisible, take out General Grievous's turn meter there, kill him. And there's a good chance that if these guys do an AoE attack, that 3 of them will counterattack. Han has natural counterattack. Commander Luke Skywalker has natural counterattack unless he's in his other stance. And then BB-8 has natural counterattack. So he might get a chance. No, he's gonna die. Okay, so There we go again. And the idea is just to keep the turn meter down. So that's pretty much it. Like it's a pretty easy thing. And I'm just gonna I'll probably speed this up here in a little bit. So right now we don't I didn't put buff immunity with Commander Luke Skywalker's special, so he was able to gain this tactical maneuvering. Right now it doesn't matter. There's no yeah, 25% offense, gain 30% turn meter whenever another ally is attacked. So he doesn't have any allies right now, so it doesn't matter. Hopefully Tebow will go next. I think he has 100% turn meter here, and then remove that. So that's the basic idea, is when he normally gains that buff, which on normal AAT is every 10 times he's attacked, he'll gain that buff and gain 100% turn meter. And if there was an ally, that ally would taunt. Or if there's multiple allies, one of them would randomly taunt. So that's the basic idea of this team, is we're just getting rid of his turn meter as soon as he gains it, basically. And then he normally won't even have this tactical maneuvering buff at all, because this one will apply a buff immunity, Luke's second special attack there. That also removes 100% turn meter. That one applies buff immunity, so now he's not going to gain that again. And so again, we're just going to avoid attacking him with anything that doesn't remove turn meter. So currently Tebow is out of stealth and doesn't have anything. He could use this if he still had that buff, and that could remove turn meter, but you know, we don't have anything. I'm just gonna hit him normally. I don't think this is attack 10, so he didn't gain the turn meter there, so we're safe. But that's why I want to get rid of Tebow. It's just because he's a hindrance in that sense. I just want him for the leadership ability. So that's pretty much all I'm using him for. We'll switch stances so we can remove 100% turn meter here, since it's building up. And no, I don't want to escape. Oops. But the other advantage here is that you're able to escape with everybody, even if General Grievous gets down to, you know, I don't know, down to like 2 or 3 turns left. I'll probably start trying to escape with them whenever I have a chance, just so that I can bring them back in and reuse them. Very similar to the tactic used by Kylo Zeta or Savage Opress Zeta. So, alright, let's keep going. And now we're going to try and escape with Tebow, hopefully. Okay. So now I could almost put it on auto. I'm not going to, because the AI is stupid and will often make them do the wrong things at the wrong time. For example, Han has his special ability. He'll try and use that every time he can, which is not good, because it doesn't have a chance to remove turn meter. It can stun, but not a boss. So bosses can't be stunned. Anyways, we gave everybody a lot of a lot of extra stats, so they're doing a lot more damage, they're moving faster. So that's why BB-8's nice. You know, he never has to attack, but he can just give lots of extra buffs. So totally worth it. And every time Han's ability to buff up everybody comes up, I tend to use that one too. I didn't need to change stances there. Usually I wait to change stances till it's 1 away from this one, so I can use that whenever it's available. But anyways, and there we go. I basic attacked with BB-8. That was dumb. Don't need to do that. Okay, we're just gonna run through this as quickly as possible. And every time either one of them uses a special ability, they regain the secret intel. So it's another reason to, you know, just periodically use their specials, even if it's not necessary. Although I find that it does help you quite a bit to keep using Han's special here, so that he just, so there's just more damage overall. You know, you're trying to get through it kind of as fast as you can, because eventually, you know, the boss's turns will get low enough, because it's not going to have perfect RNG for the whole time. But yeah. And if we wanted to, we could, since we're using Nox, we could set up keys to make this easier. I don't know. Let's do. I'm gonna set it up like a Dota or a, let's make that R. Okay. And Q and W. I guess this should be E then. Alright. And save that. So now I can go E and W, Q, and see, there you go. So not perfect RNG, so that's just the way it goes sometimes. So now we're gonna, again, just go through and try and kill these guys as best as we can. And then when General Grievous's turn meter gets too high, we'll just attack him to bring it down. I don't want to use. Alright. Use that on him. Oh, and you can use. It's actually good to use Han's first special on these guys, because it gives him like a ton of turn meter too. Maybe it's this. Maybe this is what's giving him turn meter. I don't know why he gains a ton of turn meter, but he definitely gains turn meter whenever he uses his specials. Like, see, he goes almost instantly again after using a special. I think that includes this one, yeah. So he gains like 50%, but I'm not sure what it's from, but whatever. Alright. I don't know that this is helping me do anything faster, but just keep doing it. I kind of have to think about it since I set it to keys, but oh well. I think you can do this. You can do this whole part of this raid in like a half hour, I'd say. It kind of depends. Like, maybe some people would be able to do it faster. Maybe if my guys were more upgraded, it'd be faster. If I had like Hermit Yoda, I think it'd be way faster, just because he'd be giving out the master thing. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but see, and once they have that extra offense and everything, they can do so much more damage to his allies and all that stuff. So in general, we mostly just use their basic attacks. Like, even now, I'd rather just use his basic because his turn meter wasn't that high. And even see there, like, those were all just basics, and it brought his. He went from 100% turn meter to no turn meter, basically, with just basic. So you can set it on auto basic, but again, it doesn't always work out great, because, you know, they're just, I don't know. There's definitely times where it's good to use Luke's ability just to get it down to 0 again, just to reset things. And then if he were to lose any of those status effects, and I wasn't paying attention because I have it on auto, then, you know, it could mess things up quite a bit, where they get to go pretty often. So yeah. Get more damage. And because they're gaining turn meter through several different things here, even though his General Grievous's turn meter goes up pretty high, it's not it's not really a big deal because they have a chance to gain that extra 25% turn meter at the end of each of their turns, which happens fairly often. 50% seems doesn't seem like it would come up that often, but I feel like it comes up a lot more than 50%. I don't know why, but get more damage. And as you can see, I mean, General Grievous has only gone twice, and we've done about 10% of the raid. Here he's going again, but not a big deal. So see, there's that counter chance coming into play. It's unfortunate that they got ability block, but it's only one turn, so it's not the end of the world. Get back some health there. Just auto. And then we'll stun him, and we get to go pretty much right away again. And we'll get rid of his turn meter. There we go. So more damage again. There we go. Back to keeping General Grievous just stuck where he is. It's pretty high turn meter there, so again we just get rid of it all. Should have went for damage there. That's fine. Damage. Get rid of all the turn meter. Back to basics. And see, so yeah, he resisted once on the turn meter removal there, but if Han had hit him twice with the turn meter removal, he'd be like, yeah, he'd be down to like 20% or something like that. Pretty low turn meter. I could have used my stance change there to get my first ability on Luke back up, but that's alright. Does anybody in the chat have any questions? Oops. Go back to that. Alright. Keep using our basics. We clicked on it. Yeah. More damage, basics, and there he goes. Okay. Oh. So if Luke's attacking these regular guys, he does more damage in his in this stance. I forget what it's called. It doesn't even say, yeah. So I just leave him in that stance even if I could change. Keep going. And let's get rid of all that turn meter so that General Grievous doesn't get a chance to go. And we should be able to kill everybody here. Let's do damage again. Not like it matters. So again, we'll use his special, and he gets to go again before this guy even gets to go, who had 100% turn meter. And again, that's just because I started out with Tebow lead, which gives me plus 25%, a 50% chance to get plus 25% turn meter at the end of each turn. And then I don't know what it is on Han that gives him that extra turn meter, but whenever he uses a special, he has extra turn meter at the end. Maybe it's a Luke. Maybe it's one of Luke's. No, I don't think so. I could swear it was here, but I don't know. None of these say gain turn meter. Oh, wait. Yeah, gain turn meter equal to Han's critical chance. Which I don't know what that is right now, but... And this one, he gains 50% turn meter. So that's what it is. So if he's got these up too, then his critical chances increase, so he goes even faster too. So just something to keep in mind. So it's another good reason to always keep that up on him. There we go. Looks like that last one was resisted. He would have been, again, General Grievous would probably be below. So this should take him, yeah, there we go. He was down to like 20% by the time BB-8, and then BB-8 went, he gained a little bit more. But yeah, so you can see why it's so strong. No. I probably should have basic there. I wasn't paying attention to my own guy's turn meter. So if I had basicked, he wouldn't have had a chance to go. But that's alright. There we go. Have BB-8 attack him. I don't really need BB-8's secret intel all the time because as they use their special abilities, they regain it. So I don't have to use it every single time. Although it does lower the cooldown of Illuminated Destiny. So, you know, no reason not to use it. But if I need to take out one of General Grievous's allies, then that's what I'll do. Just use his basic on them. So General Grievous has quite a bit of turn meter here. Okay, that wasn't too bad. There we go. Move 100% of it. Illuminated Destiny, get more damage out. More damage. I don't think his stuff like this gives out critical damage up and critical chance up. No, it's critical chance up and evasion up. So I don't think the critical chance ups stack on top of each other, but again, it keeps the secret intel on him. So I just use it every time I can, even though they'll both have critical chance up for 4 turns from Illuminated Destiny. So might as well. Ooh. Yeah, he's probably... No, maybe he won't go. There we go. Cleaned it off. I don't know if the evasion up has ever helped me. I've never really paid attention. But I'm sure it's helpful to a degree. Like whenever General Grievous gets a chance to go, having that evasion up just makes it, you know, even better. Gives them more survivability. But again, as you can see, they're not really struggling with survivability. Even BB-8, who I don't have upgraded very much. Oops, I didn't mean to basic with him. He doesn't have a lot of health or a lot of protection just because I haven't geared him up that high. I think I have him at gear 8 maybe. But even so, no, didn't work out. Okay, I was hoping to remove all of his turn meter with that, but that's all right. But because he had 100% turn meter, and even though Luke gained 100% turn meter, it's randomly decided when 2 people have 100% turn meter who goes. So that's what happened there. All right. almost another Illuminated Destiny coming up. So, keeping General Grievous nice and low on the turn meter. And again, I mean, everything I do is basically trying to do it as fast as possible, like, you know, using their specials to gain critical chance and critical damage up and all that stuff, just so that I'm putting out more damage, able to take out General Grievous faster, because the RNG is not going to hold up indefinitely. So I don't like how high his stuff is. See, this is another situation where I could use his unique here to buff everybody up, but nobody's really close enough to going, not especially anybody who can remove turn meter. So it's best if I just use his basic, just to ensure that there's enough time for another turn meter removal chance, you know. So let's get rid of 100% if we can. And now we'll get more damage going. So, you know, you want to play it safe. You could do this with any number of people. I've used Rex in the past as an extra body, basically, that he can remove turn meter on his basic. He removes 25%. He has a 100% chance to remove 25% every time he uses his basic. So I've used him before. And it gives you just kind of like an extra body that can remove turn meter. You should also know that Jin's a really good, Jin Ursu, however you say that, is a really good turn meter removal, but her turn meter removal doesn't work the same with General Grievous. And so she's not actually useful in this part of the raid, even though she's a really strong turn meter removal person as well. She can't be used because basically what happens is her turn meter removal happens, and then the damage happens. And so with General Grievous, if every time you hit him 10 times in normal AAT, or every time you hit him 7 times in heroic AAT, he gains 100% turn meter, causes an ally to taunt, and gains that special buff, tactical maneuvering. So if she takes away the turn meter first and then does the damage, then he gains the turn meter after the damage, which makes it so that her turn meter removal doesn't affect that 100% turn meter that he gained. And as far as I know, she's the only one who does that. I believe Rex used to do that, but in a bug patch a while ago, they fixed that so that Rex's would do the damage first and then would take away the turn meter. So as far as I know, hers is the only one that does that, as far as abilities that damage and remove turn meter. So that's why she can't be used. But there are others like Biston, I think that's how you say his name. He can be used for this as well. You just have to make sure that you save his turn meter removal part so that if he happens to land on turn 7 or turn 10, depending on normal AAT versus heroic AAT, that he will actually remove the turn meter. So you just have to save that ability for those specific times, but otherwise you could use him. But it's also a little dangerous to use Biston because his basic attack applies damage over time, and each one of those damage over times will count as a hit. So what can happen is you build up a bunch of damage over times on General Grievous, and the next time he goes, he'll go immediately again if there's more than 10 or more than 7 on him. So Biston's not the best to use for that reason. So that's basically why we use just these guys for now. Like I said, Hermit Yoda would totally work. He never attacks, so you don't have to worry about him proccing General Grievous's tactical maneuvering. The same way that I'm using BB-8, where I just use his thing. But then obviously, Yoda would keep people alive better. So if you're struggling with that, if you ever try this out, with them dying too quickly, I should have used his main one. Then you can bring in Hermit Yoda. Obviously, he has to be the right star level. You know, heroic, he'd have to be 7-star. So it's going to be a while before anybody uses him in that area. Although I hear that the first 45-star territory battle has been completed, which is cool. So there's definitely some people out there who are closer to being able to get a 7-star Yoda. So, alrighty. Looks like my guildmates are pretty active. Ah, dang it. I hope that doesn't. Okay. But yeah, I don't ever want to use BB-8's basic because it could trigger tactical maneuvering, and then, yeah, I mean, there's nothing I can do unless one of my guys happens to already be at 100% turn meter and gets a chance to go first. So in general, I want to avoid that as best as I can. I'm kind of autopiloting a little bit here, just going through. And I don't know if this is built into raids, but I feel like once you get down to 10%, that I feel like things get more resisted more often. Again, that may just be a feeling, not based in any kind of fact, but it certainly feels like right now, he just resisted, I don't know, 6 times, something like that, of turn meter removal, which is a crazy number of times, considering that I should be well over 100%, since everybody has, I mean, not right now, he doesn't have secret intel, but in general, most of my guys have the secret intel, which gives 25%. I think it just got removed right now when General Grievous did his AoE. But in general, gives 25% potency. My guys already have fairly decent potency mods on them right now, so we should be. And then with tenacity down, I don't know the exact effect of tenacity down. I don't know if it's like lowers their potency by 50% or whatever. I don't think I've seen anything about what the actual numbers are on that. But it seems crazy that any of my stuff is being resisted, because there's always a natural 15% chance that any detrimental effect won't apply. And I don't know if that's something that's been officially confirmed, or if it's just what people have found out through experimentation. But that's the general consensus, is that even if you have 100% potency and they have 0% tenacity, there's a 15% chance that anything will get resisted. So, which makes sense, because if there wasn't at least that, then certain teams would just completely steamroll, and there'd be no chance for stopping them. But anyways, so it seems crazy at times when he just resists a ton of things in a row, where it's like, how could he possibly resist all 6 of those things all in a row with only a 15% chance each time? So I don't know. To me, it feels like there's definitely something else going on behind the scenes, where maybe his potency spikes for a little bit. So see there, he missed. He had his turn meter removed by the second shot of Han Solo's, but not the first. And then he resisted the turn meter removal of Commander Luke Skywalker. Again, that's, it's a small sample size, but it seems to happen more often than I feel like it should, but who knows. Oops, I didn't mean to attack him. Alright, let's just kill everybody. Illuminated Destiny makes it much easier to take these guys out. Of course, it doesn't matter now that they're so low of health anyways, but alright. And normally this goes faster just because I'm not, I'm just doing it on my phone just real quickly. Like I said, I think it usually takes about a half hour, which is not too bad. And I've done it from 100% all the way to 0%. But if he gets two more turns here, I'm actually gonna pull all my guys out and make sure that I have them. Just because I want to get used to doing that if he's getting close to getting enraged, because obviously I don't want to lose Commander Luke Skywalker. Commander Luke Skywalker I use in Phase 3. And it doesn't matter with normal AAT. I'll get a refresh probably before we get into that. But I want to get used to doing it, because once we're doing heroic AAT, I need to absolutely make sure that I have BB-8 and Commander Luke Skywalker. I could pull out BB-8 at any time, really, because he's not contributing anything as far as removing turn meter. So he's probably the first one I usually try and pull out first, just because if he's gone, he doesn't really affect General Grievous gaining turns. And then I'll usually go for Han Solo next, because Han Solo has a lot of survivability, but he has far less than Commander Luke Skywalker. Commander Luke Skywalker can change his stance to gain 40% protection and 40% health. So Commander Luke Skywalker can survive on his own for a little bit. Plus, he in general just has a stronger turn meter removal. It's not dependent on General Grievous's turn meter in order to remove the turn meter like Han's is. So yeah, so I'll try and pull out Han next after I get BB-8 out, which again, he's at 4 turns right now. So I'm probably gonna try and start pulling them out. So let's pull out BB-8. So that went fine. So I'm not gonna try and do Commander Luke Skywalker until I've gotten Han out, and Han's out. So now we'll try with Commander Luke Skywalker. That failed, but it's okay because I can. Again, he has the best chance of keeping General Grievous down and surviving, even if he can't keep him down quite as well. So I don't need to use his stance change, but I'm going to use it here just so that I get an extra, I get my turn done faster, so that I can hopefully do another chance, and there we go. So with heroic AAT, it's only a 40% chance, so I'm not going to be as lucky every time in heroic. But as you can see, 4 million there, pretty easy. And I didn't, I wasn't overly worried about not being able to pull my guys out because of their turn meter removal. They get a lot more turns than General Grievous does in general. So, and again, with Commander Luke Skywalker, I probably should have just been attacking General Grievous that whole time. Although it's good to get rid of the battle droid, or what is he called? The B2 battle droid, because when you attack General Grievous, he has a chance to gain 100% turn meter each time. So that's kind of why I was attacking the B2. It's good to have him down before you start attacking General Grievous, if you can, if you have time. But obviously, I'd want to take away 100% turn meter from General Grievous as soon as I can before he gets another chance at a turn, because each time he has a chance at a turn, he's getting closer to being enraged. So, yeah, that's kind of just how I would go about it. And I'd probably be able to get probably 4 or 5 more tries in that time with Commander Luke Skywalker. I'm not sure how it would work on Heroic AAT. I haven't had a chance to try it out yet. Just because, yeah, our guild's not quite there. But yeah, 4 million in not too long. And then again, I would just, if it was Heroic AAT, I would just go back in with the same team. Maybe this time I'll leave out Tebow so I don't have to worry about that. But once I go back in, General Grievous will be back up to 15 turns, and till he gets enraged, and so I've got plenty of time to just deal with him as best as I can. Oh, I was like, why are my abilities blocked? That's because of Han's special. So, yeah, I can probably finish out this last 11%. And without the Tebow lead, you might notice that my guys aren't going as often. Again, that's the reason that I bring the Tebow lead, is just to increase how often my guys have a chance to remove turn meter. BB-8's pretty low, but as soon as he uses Illuminated Destiny again, he'll gain back protection. I don't know if he has any natural lifesteal, but not too worried about it. I could have left BB-8 as well, because for the last 11%, like 15 turns, you should be able to get somewhere around 30% without anybody with my guys at my level. Like, people are able to do 100% of Heroic AAT with well-modded Commander Luke Skywalkers and Raid Hans and fully geared. My Commander Luke Skywalker is Gear 12 with one Gear 12 piece. My Raid Han is not 7-star yet. I'm 5 shards away. Pretty close. And once he's there, I'm set up to get him. Not quite to Gear 12. I think I need 2 full stun guns before I can get him to Gear 12, but pretty close. And that'll be helpful. I haven't really worked too strong on mods lately. Just been doing some Cantina farming. But I actually started going back into mods in the last week or so. So maybe we'll be able to get some better mods on these guys. But for now, they work. And it's pretty easy just being able to pull them out anyways. So it's not like a high priority, because even in Heroic AAT, I should be able to pull them out without too much difficulty. I think I'm probably going to pull out BB-8 after my first Illuminated Destiny here, just so he's not too low. Again, it's going to get refreshed because it's normal AAT, but I want to get used to taking their life and stuff into consideration, because my plan is to eventually use this team. And I'm just gonna pull out BB-8 now if we can. Nope. My plan is to use this exact team in heroic AAT, and if if I'm not used to considering their life while I'm doing it, just because I know that they'll get refreshed, I'm gonna have trouble later on. I wonder why. I wonder if secret intel reduces all of BB-8's, because he was able to escape on his third turn there. The third. It was like this right after I tried to use escape on BB-8. The next time BB-8 had a turn, he was able to escape, and that may be a bug with his secret intel, or maybe it's intended with his secret intel. If it is, that's even better. Yeah, he's pretty close to 100%, so I'm gonna just basic him down. And so, like you can see, Han's basic on General Grievous is really good because of that. Because of that 35% turn meter removal while he's above 50%. So it means if he's at 100% turn meter, or 99% or whatever he's at, you'll remove 35%, which keeps him above that 50% line, which then he takes another 35%. So essentially, you can take away 70% turn meter, which is very strong for a basic ability. So that's kind of why you want his the Zeta on his ability, so that he has a chance, so that he always attacks twice. That's what the Zeta does, is it gives him 2 attacks every time he basic attacks. So, because otherwise he would only be able to remove 35% turn meter at any time from General Grievous, which is good. And like I said, I used to use Rex on this team, which he only removes 25% turn meter, and only has the 1 basic attack. He doesn't have anything more than that. So it works. It's just not as good as being able to remove as much as 70% turn meter. And then see, he got resisted that first time, but not the second time. Oops. So that's another good reason is if he's resisted, each one is considered individually. So it just makes him overall more effective in this fight. So yeah. And I'll probably try and pull both of them out once we're below 1%. And the reason I want to do that is because once they go into the next battle against the tank, they won't have their escape ability up until they've gone so many turns. I don't want to risk them taking more damage than is necessary. Again, taking into consideration them eventually being used in the heroic AAT. That's kind of my logic behind it, is I don't want them, I want to try and escape with them before they take too much unnecessary damage with a chance of dying. They probably wouldn't die against the tank. I could probably, with these 2 guys, I could probably easily topple it, honestly, a couple times before they'd be close to dying. And again, they have pretty decent survivability with Han's lifesteal and Luke's whatever this is, call to action, which gives him 40% health and 40% protection. So they're pretty tanky, able to survive quite a bit. So it's not too big of a deal, but just in case, always better to be safe than sorry. So at about 1%, I'll try and get them to escape. Because any team will be able to take General Grievous from 1% to 0% pretty easily. You know, if he's got 15 turns till he's enraged, you could even use a Zader, which is a really bad character to use against General Grievous because of what I was talking about before with the damage over times. You know, obviously with Zader, those damage over times never go away. So if you stick, you know, if you stick 5 damage over times on General Grievous, as soon as he gets that 100% turn meter, he's just constantly going to keep going. It's kind of a really crazy thing to see. But again, if he's only got 1% health, you know, 5 damage over times should be able to kill him, you know, in less than 15 turns. So yeah, if he goes 15 times and takes, you know, I don't know what damage over time does to bosses. I know it's reduced. It's not the full. What is it? 5% that damage over times normally do. But is it 5%? I think it's 5%. So you need like 20 damage over times to go from 100% health to 0 health. But if he's hit by, I need to start trying to escape with them. So again, I'm gonna leave Luke for last, the same way I did that first time, just because again he has the better chance. I'm gonna try and keep General Grievous from going right now. Not great. Okay, I just need to try and escape. He's below 1%, so there we go. Escape with Han. And escape with Luke. There we go. Ended at 0.88% or something like that. So yeah, and that's basically how you use that team. There we go. We did 6 million total. So yeah, 6,392,000. Again, I've done it from 100% down to that same 1%. Just by pulling them out once or twice. Pretty easy, and just as easy in heroic, I'm sure. You know, there's probably some extra difficulties I have to deal with. Probably has stronger tenacity. But again, that's why we take those extra people, give them tenacity down, and give my guys potency up. So, all right, cool. Thanks for watching. Bye.